Americans continue to see the world of retail rapidly shifting online, and that trend doesn't seem to be slowing down. This as data shows Black Friday mall crowds this year were only about half of the usual levels. I spoke with economist Dr. Ray Perryman, who is the president and CEO of Perryman Group, to talk about this trend further. Take a look. Even though we've seen retail sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday break records compared to last year, you pointed out how retailers are struggling to deal with the pandemic. What can we expect heading into 2021?
Well, what we're really seeing is the Black Friday traffic was down quite a bit inside the stores. The cyber sales set all-time records. And on balance, there was a little bit of a net loss for the year. But I think coming into the holiday season, I think a couple of things. Number one, the retailers are going to do everything they can to make people feel comfortable in their stores. They've also started early. Way back in October, they were already running the equivalent of, quote, Black Friday sales and trying to extend the season a bit, which has been happening for quite some time. And then, so I think we'll probably end up with a season fairly similar to last year, and you have to remember last year was in the middle of the 10th year of an economic expansion, so that's not really a bad place to end up. But we may see a little bit of a decline. I think a lot will depend on whether or not the people are expecting any checks in the mail between now and Christmas, which seems to be something that fluctuates moment to moment right now.
And we hear concerns from everyday Americans to politicians about how e-commerce giants such as Amazon and Walmart are dominating the retail industry at this moment, mainly due to the convenience. But what do brick and mortar stores and mom and pop shops need to do in order to stay competitive?
Well, I think the primary thing that retailers need to do, and this trend has been going on for quite some time, is do things to make it attractive for people to come to their stores. Obviously, a big component of that today is safety. But if you look for the past several years, I mean, people like to see and feel and touch things and talk to somebody about it when they're shopping. There's some advantages to that. A lot of people prefer that method, particularly older generations tend to prefer that method. And so it's a question of making it safe and making it convenient and fun. I mean, the move you've seen in the last 10 or 15 years toward the outdoor spaces with a lot of amenities and that sort of thing, as opposed to the traditional indoor mall, has been a reflection of changing consumer preferences. And I think you're going to see that continue. But I think more and more the retailers are going to do two things. Number one, beef up their own online presence and try to generate additional sales in that way, but also do things to make it attractive for people to come into their stores.
And House Republicans held a press conference Thursday with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy pointing out how roughly 1 in 5 small businesses are closed due to lockdown measures. How much are these lockdowns impacting the retail industry, or is it because people are buying online more because of the convenience?
Well, I think there's a combination of things. Clearly, lockdowns, I realize they're necessary in some situations when you have the health situation at a certain level, but they are very disruptive, and it's particularly disruptive for those small businesses that have opened and then had to close again or had to cut back their scale, because that generates additional expense and that sort of thing. And I think the online shopping, again, every year for the past 10 or 15 years, the percentage of shopping that's happened online has gone up over time. That's been a long-term trend. The pandemic more or less put it on steroids, because for a while, people were pretty much forced to do it. That caused some people to like it, and other people are still uncomfortable going out and that sort of thing. But again, as we come through this with hopefully soon with vaccinations and therapeutics and that sort of thing, I think there's still a lot of people who like to go out and be in the crowds and see and feel and touch things. It's just a matter for the small businesses of trying to survive to the point that they can work through this situation until we get to that stage.
And lastly, where can our viewers go to learn more about you and your work?
Well, our website is www.perrymangroup.com. We've been around for over 40 years, and we're an economic analysis firm, and we welcome any inquiries.
Dr. Ray Perryman, thank you so much again for your time.
My pleasure.
Want to see more videos like this? Visit OANN.com for immediate access to all the clips you've been waiting to see.